Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. So today we're discussing an interesting limited edition of 110 pieces that was launched back in 2021. IWC is owned by Richemont. Mr. Porter, which is a luxury sales portal on the internet, is also owned by Richemont. So this is the IWC Pilot's Watch Chronograph. It's a Spitfire. It's a Pilot's Watch Chronograph Spitfire edition 10 years of Mr. Porter. So it's a 41 millimeter in a combination of bronze and titanium that celebrates 10 years of Mr. Porter, and that's primarily expressed by the case back, and then we're just going to skip to the loom shot right here. A very, very subtle luminescent numeral 10 on the dial. It's a 41 millimeter Pilot's Watch Chronograph Spitfire, so 41 in diameter from lug tip to lug tip. These are always pretty big, so 51.1 millimeters, that's fairly broad. And then we've got a 15.6 millimeter thick case with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Easy watch to wear on my wrist, although I will say this, because the lug-to-lug span on these Pilot's watches is always quite large, I wouldn't necessarily wear this on a wrist much smaller than mine. The 41 Pilot's watch wears more like a 43, so just keep that in mind. It's not super thick, but it's also not super thin. It'll fit underneath jacket cuffs, but some sleeves might get hung up. Here's your down the barrel shot, and you can really see that the lugs are fairly close, though not completely over the edge of my wrist. The strap, interesting piece. This was IWC's first use of Alcantara. The strap is specific to the model. It's not something that's aftermarket or haphazardly added. When this was originally retailed, it came on the strap. And if you look carefully, you can see it is IWC branded on the bottom. So Alcantara is a very expensive synthetic suede. You might think that synthetic anything is undesirable, but in this case, it actually costs more and comes with superior qualities relative to natural animal hide. It can be cleaned more easily. It's more durable, it's longer lasting, and of course it has the same silky feel. It's used on the optional headliners of ultra luxury cars, where you'll get a standard cloth headliner and Alcantara will be the high dollar upcharge. You'll also find it on the touch points of really high-end sports cars, shift knobs, seat inserts, and steering wheels. So that's used here. And then we've got a buckle that matches the watch in bronze. So taking a look at the facets, you can see that it's a shapely thing, though not particularly revolutionary. It's a buckle. It does have one agreeable quality, which is that the bridge is somewhat elevated, so when the strap goes into the buckle, it sort of sits inside it. It doesn't stack up completely underneath. A small consideration, but one I enjoy. So the case is entirely media blasted, which does a good job of obscuring marks. There's a very subtle bevel at the end of the lugs, which are integrated and tapered. The bezel has a vertical lip, a conical lip, and then a very flat one. So it's a three-facet bezel that's stepped in from the case band to create less visual weight. We do have a screw-down crown here with the IWC logo and motto Probus Scafusia on it. The watch is 60 meters water resistant, and yes, it can be used for surface swimming. We have shoulders for the chronograph pushers, and the watch features a magnetic shield for the movement internally, which is why it features a solid case back as well. Taking a quick look, Mr. Porter, 10 years. Unusually for IWC, which will usually just feature some sort of generic note like 1 of 110, this is actually individually numbered. The titanium is used on the case back because this is the primary contact point with the skin, and not only will this not interact biochemically with you, it will not stain your wrist blue or green, which some bronze will do. Now, along the lines of chemistry, this is no mean bronze. Every bronze has to have at least copper and tin. IWC also went heavy on aluminum and zinc to create a slower patination and also make it a harder, more scratch-resistant bronze. Just keep in mind this is not a generic bronze. It's somewhat similar to the type of bronze used by Tudor. So on the dial, we've got a very subdued, almost sort of desert Mojave look with the instrument style that is germane to the Pilot's watches, and then rose gold plated hands. We've got azurage patterns inside each of the sub-registers, a little stepped day-date functionality, a bob counterweighted Lancet style seconds hand with a little bit of curvature, and we'll go back to the loom shot one more time so you can see it. Again, 10 years of Mr. Porter. We do have a couple of subsidiary setting modes. Screw that crown out. The first thing you can see is that we do have a a hacking seconds or stop seconds function. And then the next is that we've got a quick set for each of the day and the date. And it's very positive in that regard. What's inside is a movement designed by Volflurier but made by IWC and Schaffhausen. Volflurier is a movement clearinghouse for the Richemont Group that helps supplement the engineering of the specialist watchmaker Maison. And so this is known at IWC as caliber 69380, so it's designed to be an IWC-built drop-in replacement for the old 7750. So it's also 30 millimeters in diameter, so it literally can drop in and replace the 7750. It's an automatic winder. It uses a pawl-based magic lever winding system that's similar to the IWC Peloton pawl-based system. And remember, Peloton came before magic lever, not the other way around, so IWC is well within its rights to use a magic lever style. It's got a 46-hour power reserve and 4 hertz beat rate, double quick set stop seconds, chronometer style 5-position adjustment, all of this pivoting on 33 joules, and it features a column wheel for function selection. So unlike a 7750, it has a very crisp column wheel. Like a 7750, it uses an oscillating pinion lateral clutch instead of a conventional lateral clutch or vertical clutch. The nice thing about an oscillating pinion is that when you just press and hold, watch this, there's almost no discernible jump or stagger to the seconds hand. An oscillating pinion can be just as smooth to engage as a vertical clutch, and that's one of the reasons why it was probably retained for this movement. So a very credible IWC-built movement in a watch that is iconic of the brand, in an edition that you're unlikely to see. So if you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.